Hello, it's me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Another Wednesday, and this time it's a Wednesday in the month of September. Oh, such is life. Time goes by, makes life exciting. But yeah, today what draws my attention is, that in the parish here, people received a book for Christmas, a gift for Christmas, the Wisdom of the Saints. And it just happens that today's quotation under the title Gossip, today's quotation is, if something uncharitable is said in your presence, either speak in favor of the absent or withdraw, or if possible, stop the conversation. Wow. If something uncharitable is said in your presence, either speak in favor of the absent or withdraw, or if possible, stop the conversation. And guess who said those words? One of the greatest confessors the world has ever known, Saint John Vianney. And by the way, I sit here at the foot of the altar, and one of the relics we have here, one of the four we have, is Saint John Vianney. So I'm pretty sure he's very attentive listening to these words of his. But yeah, have you ever really thought about that, especially when it comes to gossip, just kind of, not speaking or speaking in the favor of the one that is being criticized or whatever, or even just withdrawing from the conversation or just stopping the conversation? It's not an easy thing because it depends on who and what the conversation is. Sometimes we may already have a little grudge with somebody, and when somebody starts talking about them, we throw in our $100 of thought, about the person. And sometimes I think we feel justified, and maybe we feel some relief when we can pile it on somebody. Sometimes I tell people, especially in the confession, I'll never be like St. John Vianney, but because he drew so many to the confessional, he must have had a way of talking to people, counseling them in the confessional, that they kept coming back. But definitely, sometimes I tell people in the confessional that, think of just if you are not there, maybe those words that were said would be said about you as you gossip about somebody else. It is interesting, and that area of gossip probably also kind of sometimes merges with the area of judgment. The Lord tells us not to judge. But again, we have to make some judgments in life. Parents, you have to make judgments about your children. Who do they relate to? I've known teenagers telling their parents, don't judge me. I'm like, what does that mean? The parents, you have to draw a line somewhere. But on the other hand, there are judgments that we make that are not for the good of the person, are not even for our good. They are just judgments we make just to draw out whatever we think is flawed in the character of another person. So same with gossip, those things we say about others. But again, that is a good quotation for today as we live our life. It is interesting that in the letter of St. James in the 4th chapter, while he's discussing causes of division, he says, do not speak evil of one another. Do not speak evil of one another. And many times it may not sound like evil, but truly when we gossip, when we make biting judgments and share with others, it is what we really are doing many times. And so, as we live our lives, all of us, have something that somebody could talk about, and somebody may be jealous or envious and try to tear us down. But in the end, we are invited to not to do those things. That's what love asks of us. Yes, we love our God, who loves us in spite of who we are. Or we carry with us the sins that he knows so well, and we always are invited to go to him for forgiveness. But yet, that love of God shows itself in how we love others, how we respond to others, how we respond. And last Sunday the invitation was to deny ourselves and take up our cross and follow him. I believe the cross is in that love. How do we respond? when we feel challenged even by others, when we feel like somebody is not worth of who they are or what others think of them, of what we think of them. Love invites us to will the good of that other person. Love invites us to want the good of that other person. And so it comes to gossip, it comes to judgment. We can't say we love when we are tearing somebody else apart, when we are contributing to the abuse or the derailment of somebody's life in that way. So, brothers and sisters, love because you are loved. Amen.